So, welcome all, and we are live on YouTube. This is Bitcoin 101, and of course, like I said, allow me to share my screen so that we can just get started right away. I want to share with you evolution of money, evolution of money. So, I hope I'm visible. I hope that is visible, all of you, and I'm also audible. Remember, drop any questions, drop any anything you want to share on the chat room, any question, Louis will be there in just answering. And today I want us to discuss what is money and how has it evolved over the years? How has it evolved over the year? Because once you understand these, some of these questions we've been having about cryptocurrencies and stuff, of course, you be in a position to really totally understand that money has been evolving, and though these are things we just take for granted, or maybe it's just part of our life, we don't get to really question and ask a lot of ask ourselves more questions in regards to it. Of course, if it passes us. So evolution of money, and of course, it's good. We start with a definition of what money is, and money is a store of value. Of course, we know that, and a medium of exchange that allows people to acquire the things they need to live. It has evolved from being physical paper and coins to digital currencies over the years. And this is what I want us to discuss today, the evolution of money. How has it evolved from physical paper coins to digital over the years? So how does money work? How does money work? Money works in simple ways. Number one thing that money does is a medium of exchange. It's a medium of exchange. It's used to facilitate transactions and allow people to obtain goods and services in return. Medium of exchange. That one key characteristic of money. The second key characteristic of money is what? Is a store of value. Store of value. It is an asset that does not diminish in value over time, making it a medium of exchange. But of course, we know one of the challenges money has been having, the fiat currency, is inflation. So it's not really a good store of value. That one I'll tell you for a fact. It's not really a good store of value, and this is the reason that's why people have been looking for other other things like gold, which does not diminish its value faster. It appreciates because it's an asset as a store of value. So, of course, fiat currency does not fit very well in the second characteristic of money, which is store of value. And then the other characteristic of money is what? It's a unit of account. It serves as a standard measure of value of other goods and services that two people strive to acquire. So number one, how does money work? It's a medium of exchange, should have the key element of a store of value, and then the third one is a unit of account that I can give you something of value, and the measure of value will be measured in whatever you're giving in return in form of money. As we move on swiftly, this is my topic for today: evolution of money. Evolution of money. Because once you understand this, you'll be able even to now understand better cryptocurrencies and digital assets. So the first evolution of money was what? Barter trade. We all know this. At first, barter trade, or exchange of goods and services for other goods and services, was the primary form of money. Easily traded items like animals, skin, salt, weapons became known as the first century. So this was the first evolution of money, where people would change goods for services for other goods and services. And of course, I don't want to go to the challenges this head. Some of the challenges were so much because number one, you had to go long distances to find somebody who has what you needed, they need what you have. Of course, another thing was perishability. You have things that are fresh before you get to the market. Maybe most half of them are already gone bad. So these are some of the challenges that barter trade had. Of course, this led to the second evolution of money, and that was coins. Coins. So from barter trade, we went to coins, and China and Europe were the world's pioneer in creating objects similar to modern day money that could be used easily for purchase. So it's good to know that there's a town called the city of Lydia. I mean, this was the first town to come up with coins, and of course Europe there again. And from there, that evolution of money, we went now to paper currency. So barter trade, coins, and then paper currency. With banks emerging, coins transited to notes that could be stored and were easily to carry in large amounts. So from coins, we went to paper money, and from there, for the evolution of money is mobile payments. Of course, technology advancement in 1990, we had the internet boom, and of course, people are looking at how fast, how easy, how can we transact easy without carrying physical money, and this led to the fourth evolution of money, which is mobile payments. And technology advancement allowed people to carry virtual currencies via mobile gadgets like smartphones, and merchants began accepting various mobile payments. These things like we talk of mobile money payments like M-Pesa, which started in Kenya. We have Visa cards, all these Mastercards and wherever PayPal, where like you don't need to be physically somewhere for you to pay for goods and services, and you don't have to touch or see the physical money that you're paying. So mobile money was the fourth evolution of money, and the fifth evolution of money we know is now what we call digital currencies. The first digital currency was Bitcoin, which was introduced as the world's first digital currency that could operate with a decentralized authority, moving away from banks and fiat currency. It's good to know that fiat currency, the word fiat means a declaration. So basically, fiat means a declaration, and it's money printed by government. This is money printed by government, and of course, Bitcoin as the first digital currencies came now to give. Usually says money by the people for the people. It's not money from the bank, from the central bank to bank to the people. So this is the fifth evolution of money, digital currencies, and if you see how money has evolved, we are moving less from things you can touch, you can see, to things that are not, you cannot touch them and they're not visible. This is the beauty about it. And Bitcoin, of course, it's in the initial, I think we are still at the innovation stage. We have had so many other cryptocurrencies have come, and it's gonna continue with a whole lot of other introductions of other digital currencies happening. And this is the reason that's why today I decided let me just share about digital currencies so that we can see the evolution of money, because a lot of people are afraid of cryptocurrencies because they totally don't understand that money has been evolving. And just a recap for people who've joined in evolution of money. The first one was barter trade, exchange of goods for other goods and services. Then we went to coins. China and Europe were the world's first pioneers in creating objects similar to modern day money that could be used easily for purchase. And I said the first town, it was called the city of Lydia. These were the first people to come up with a metal coin. And then we went to the third evolution of money, which is paper, and banks came up with notes, where coins transited to notes that could be stored and were easily to carry in large amounts. And then we went to mobile payments, where things like PayPal, Visa card, mobile money transfers, all these bank apps fall under mobile payments, where like you can pay for goods and services virtually without you touching and seeing the money. And then the fifth evolution of money is digital currencies, and Bitcoin was the first digital currency that was introduced to the market in 2008, October 31st, by a gentleman called Satoshi Nakamoto. So the rise of cryptocurrencies, the rise of digital currencies, of course, it's good to know that digital currencies and cryptocurrencies are the post Sorry about that. We just had a blackout in our office. We are back, and I hope we are all learning. Sorry about that. These are just some unavoidable circumstances that happen once in a while, things that we are not in control of. Let me just come back with my sharing. I was almost done with evolution of money. And then kindly, if you have any question, you can always drop it at the chat room. Thanks all of you for your patience. It's good to have all of you back. So just 1 second, let me just continue with my share. For those people who are joining in, we were discussing about evolution of money. And the reason as why I said let me share about this is there's a Bitcoin conference happening as we speak in Miami, Florida, where like every person who's been in the crypto space for the longest time possible, they have come to discuss more on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space. So yesterday, the first presentation was evolution of money, and I just thought to myself, how many of us just use money, but we have never sat down to think how has money evolved with time, and why are people talking about digital currencies today? For those people who just joined in, the first evolution of money, like I had shared, of course, is barter trade, goods for services for other goods and services. Then we had coins. China and Europe was the first countries to come up with coins. And then banks came with what we call banknotes. And then mobile payment was the fourth, of course, because of the technology growth. And then number five is digital currencies. So for you who has doubt on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, you can see money has been evolving, and soon we are going to a cashless society. So the rise of digital currencies is where I was. And of course, digital currencies and cryptocurrencies are post-modern types of money that only exist electronically. This is where you hear people talk of it's virtual or it's digital. You cannot see it, you cannot touch it, but it does exist. The second point is that they stem from blockchain technology. I always say you can compare blockchain technology with internet. Internet came, the first use case of internet was email. So the first use case of blockchain technology is digital currencies, the cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. So of course, we're gonna see this technology evolve to other use cases as time goes by. The other thing is that they are designed to work as a medium of exchange without a government issuing authority. And I think one of the reasons as to why a lot of people stay away from cryptocurrencies is that one of the major questions I've had people ask me is that who issues these? Does the central bank issue digital currencies? And at times when I say no, people are like, then I cannot touch that. Just know that they are decentralized. It's money by the people for the people. The other thing is coin ownership is stored in a distributed digital database to enforce security. So it doesn't have a central ledger. We all know how internet has evolved is that we have networks that are centralized, one server in one place, and we have networks that are decentralized. There is no central server. So for security enforcement, digital currencies, most of them use decentralized kind of network, and blockchain technology is one major of them. The other thing is payments can be private or pseudo-anonymous. So users' data is not revealed. So I can pay for goods and services without knowing another person in another country and without them knowing me. That's the beautiful thing about it. I can do a transaction without having my information out in the public. Unlike the normal way of us sending and receiving a value or money, you're gonna give your ID. Like if you're in Kenya and you want to withdraw money from your M-Pesa mobile app, you're gonna give your data. If you're a bank, you have to give all your details and stuff. When it comes to cryptocurrencies, it's more private. It's still anonymous. And then besides Bitcoin, it's also good to know there are other plenty of other cryptocurrencies. We call them altcoins, alternative coins from Bitcoin. These are the likes of Ethereum, Ripple. We have USDT like Tether and Litecoin, and each came to solve a certain need. So that's what I wanted to just recap because I was inspired. I think it's Tim Depra who shared these as we were watching the conference, Bitcoin conference that is ongoing currently in Miami, Florida. And he gave a whole lot of details on the evolution of money, and I felt it's good also if I can touch these. I know some of you still doubting cryptocurrencies. Maybe you don't understand them very well and stuff, but trust you me, this is the fifth evolution of money. The more time you take to totally understand them, the more you'll be left behind. So, and this is why we are here at Bitcoin 101 so that we can share more. We can of course learn together because, like I always say, we are not experts. We are students. Each and every other time we are just learning to really grow together and become more and more educated when it comes to digital currency. So that was my topic for today, what is money and the evolution of what has happened. So next time somebody asks you what is digital currency, just it's easy just to say it's the fifth evolution of money. So I want to pass the baton to Louis so that he can start us off with the news. And Louis, before even you do that, I think maybe I can also, Louis is not even online. So let me just wait for him. And I'll also share the link to the conference that is ongoing, the conference that is currently ongoing in Miami, Florida. It's good to see all these people who are Bitcoin pioneers sharing their journey. These are some of the people who came on board way back in 2000. Some of them were even way before Bitcoin started. And it's good to listen to their stories. It's good to listen to their journey. Because one thing I noticed yesterday, in fact, and I was just discussing with Louis, that all these pioneers, they are not in for money, apparently. And I know a whole lot of us who come to crypto space. We want to make as much money as we can, and we come with this notion of we want to make quick money, and this is the reason as well a lot of people are losing money in cryptocurrency space. There's this notion of like it's a get rich kind of quick scheme. But yesterday I came to learn that these people are not here for quick bucks. They are not here for quick money at all. They are here to see the fifth evolution of money go to the next level. And it's just amazing. If you can just, Louis, if you can just share again that link, just take your time and listen to them. Listen to what inspires them each and every other day. It's just amazing because you listen to such people, you come back, and even your thought process, you get enlightened. You start seeing life from a totally different point of view. I know most of us who are coming to crypto space, maybe we've met people who say, come put this money, you're gonna make all this money. There's no denying that. There's a whole lot of money in the crypto space, and we are still at the beginning. But it goes beyond you trying to get that quick bucks. It goes beyond you understanding number one, the evolution of money, why digital currencies, and then after that, you learn, and then money follows. Money will just follow you, like this gentleman who really inspired me yesterday. So I think Louis is back, and of course he's shared the conference. Just click on the link, go see the recordings, understand where the world is heading. Let's be on the same page next time we are coming for Bitcoin 101. So Louis, I want to pass the baton to you so that we can start with us with the news, and then I'll come back in a few seconds with what has been happening also in the world. So Louis, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Lawrence, for that brief journey of money. And actually, it's quite interesting that most people don't know about the history of the money or rather the currency that you have. And I remember, I think it was this week when I think I had a conversation with one of my all-time friends. He's in finance, and actually we were trying to have a mutual discussion about money and currency. And I happened to ask him, okay, would you possibly give me a few differences about money and currency? And to my surprise, actually, he didn't know. He didn't actually. He had never thought of it. And he's a finance guy. So perhaps maybe I can just to make this session a bit interactive. What do most of us here think about money and currency? Are they the same thing? Are they different, or which is which? Maybe a few comments on the chat, just to see that probably we are learning with the same at the same length. So money and currency, in your own quick thinking on the toes, what is it? Then you can get to now to I'm just trying to touch a little bit on what Lawrence had shared before I go to the news. Yeah, so thanks a lot, Lawrence, for clarifying the question again. The difference about money and currency in your own understanding to this point, what do you think it is? Then from there, I think we can now proceed to the brief session on the news. So let me see on the charts. I think we are about 15 of us here. Possibly, let me hear from 2, 3 people. Then I proceed on with the session. Because the reason really why I'm asking this question is that as soon as you understand the key differences about money and currency, then is when you possibly realize that cryptocurrencies or digital currencies is a big deal, not for now, but for the future. But if you don't know it, then most likely you just think it's just one of those things. And I'm very much sure that it wasn't intentional, or it wasn't actually, let me rephrase that again. It wasn't by accident that the ongoing conference started with the history of money, just to set the base for the session. So let me see. Stephen Mwangi says money is real value. Money is the real value, and currency is a medium to communicate the value from one domain to another. That is precisely correct, Stephen. That is very true. Let me get to hear from another person. So just to rephrase that, Stephen says money is the real value. Value meaning that's where the worth of the money is, and currency is a medium to communicate the value from one domain to another. That is very well put. Any other person, maybe one more person before I go to the news, so that you can at least know why this really matters. Because again, I repeat, the sooner you realize those two differences is when you know how valuable or how much of a big deal is about cryptocurrencies. So let me get one more comment just to know that we're on the same page together. If you don't know, just say you don't know. That's also an answer. But just need to see some interaction. And always remember, this is being recorded on our YouTube channel. If you want to get the recording or listen to our past recordings, you can also always follow our channel. Perhaps Lawrence can share the link of the YouTube link on the chat as I continue with the session. So it seems okay. So again, I think Stephen Mwangi says, example, if you had a suit in a dry cleaner and you give them a receipt, the receipt is like currency, but the suit is the value. Precisely, yes, correct. That is very true, and that is a very good example to define basically what you're saying. Lawrence Lukivi says currency is a type of money allowed in certain jurisdictions, but money is the actual medium of exchange. Oh, I think this is amazing. I think you guys, you actually you're very smart, which actually says that actually education on cryptocurrencies and money is important. Which with this and this is actually why we do it. When I see such answers, I think I'm really encouraged that not many of us out there know that such differences. Anthony O says money is a store of value, while currency is not a store of value. That is very much true. So all of you, actually, you are right, and I think I commend you for that. I think that's quite interesting. So let me go ahead and share the news that I caught my eye this week, maybe 4 or 5. But the good thing, once you have that basis of money and currency, you'll never have a problem understanding cryptocurrencies. That's so to say. So the first news that I saw that maybe it's worthy of me sharing here is about Jack Dorsey. So Jack Dorsey is the person or the proprietor or the founder of Twitter. Now he has actually expanded to Square, that is a wallet exchange that is enabling cash to Bitcoin transaction. So he says yesterday, actually, he was one of the presenters on yesterday's conference, Bitcoin conference. So in brief, he says, showering his love for Bitcoin, Dowsey said that he might consider leaving Twitter and Square if crypto needs more help. So those are very strong words from somebody who has built a multi-million company in the US. So Jack Dorsey's Square is working on its Bitcoin hardware wallet, which will simplify the self-custody of Bitcoin for average users. So the keywords for me there is what we call self-custody. Self-custody. So Jack Dorsey understands the old saying in crypto now, not your keys, not your coins. And he actually, by those words, puts him clearly that he understands the value of being your own bank. So he's not going to give him your coins to manage for you. It's you to manage your own coins for yourself, which is actually quite innovative coming from him. So, to the actual news, Twitter and Square's Incorporated CEO Jack Dorsey seems to have doubled down his efforts on Bitcoin development and is very much bullish on the future of Bitcoin. Speaking, or as I said on the ongoing 2021 conference yesterday, he says Bitcoin changes absolutely everything. So maybe we just zoom that in so I be a bit clear. So he says Bitcoin changes absolutely everything. And I don't think there is anything more enabling for people around the world. I don't think there is anything more important in my lifetime to work on, says Dozy. So that is somebody who is actually, I think, doing far much better than all of us on this session. So on this one thing, you should actually take it seriously. So moving on, why G7 nations are raising strong concerns for China's new digital yuan. So of course, we've seen very many countries trying to come up with their own version of digital currencies. So for them, China is actually very much ahead in terms of implementation. So there's a demand from the G20 economies to bring digital yuan under the ambit of international laws. So I think this is a concern because China, as we know, is the biggest economy. Of course, they are playing it out with the US. So the G7 noted that digital yuan can lead to the creation of a new economic zone that will threaten the USD-based global currency. Unfortunately, that is already happening, and I don't know what the G27 could do about that. But that's the good thing about innovation. The faster you do it, the better you implement it, the bigger like space you get it. I think this reminds me of one of our sessions we did last time about crossing the chasm, about Bitcoin moving from early adoption to sorry, I think it was a innovative stage to early majority. That's where I think that reminds me of that. But nonetheless, that is a interesting take from the G7 nations that is actually they are concerned about China's new digital one, which is I think everybody is open to innovate. And coming back home, I think this I saw yesterday. One of our I think followers, Lemaron, I think shared with me yesterday this one. So he says the article is from Business Daily. He says ESC eyes digital currency to level cross-border transactions. So again, this is now back here at home, which is actually interesting because we wouldn't want to be left out. But I think these are some of the activities that show that slowly and slowly we'll be catching up on this all by bandwagon. So I think if you want to get the article, you can always share it on the chat. Maybe let me just read one part that basically did. Let me see that part. It says. I think this was said by I think this one. The CBDC, however, is different from many cryptocurrencies that have been created in different organizations based on some assets. So no one has a choice but to change with the times. Blockchain is becoming big, and everyone must join the bandwagon or risk being rendered irrelevant by technology. The ESC can benefit from this and boost efficiency in its cross-border payments. That is as per Bitangendemo's comment on in terms of digital currencies, which is actually good. So the present ESC payment system is dogged by difficulties in funding arrangements of regional currencies from regional commercial banks. So I think that they are trying to see whether this can be a solution for that. So moving on to other news, other tech news, I think most of us would most likely maybe own a One Plus phone. So One Plus phone is actually coming up with an application that would support cryptocurrencies. So a customer survey on attitudes on blockchain, NFTs, and cryptocurrency wallet hints at a smartphone manufacturer's crypto ambitions. So that is as per smartphone manufacturer OnePlus, who rolled out a poll to see whether users are open to using cryptocurrencies. So that is, of course, following Samsung's and HTC, who added support for the cryptocurrencies on their devices. So OnePlus could set to follow Samsung and HTC in adding cryptocurrency support to its smartphones, according to the tech site My Smart Price. The Chinese device manufacturer is testing the waters, the survey on blockchain technology. So eventually, this will lead to a product that is usable. Moving on, I think my second last news session that I actually saw is newsworthy. So most of us could be aware of this guy called Edward Snowden. So whistleblower Edward Snowden says 6 trillion in stimulus is good for Bitcoin. So I don't know whether we understand what stimulus is. So stimulus is basically money that is given, or rather given out to US citizens as a cushion for the hard economic times. So this is basically free money, money from nowhere that is printed, that they just given, and it ranges from $600 to $1,400 per family or per head. So that in the Kenyan context, I think that's good money. $1,400. That's about 140,000 for the month, which is actually new money coming in. So the infamous whistleblower and privacy activist Edward Snowden commented on Bitcoin on Friday after Biden administration said this week it was shooting for $6 trillion in stimulus proposals. Following the 6 trillion stimulus headlines, Snowden commented the situation and said it was good for Bitcoin. Because if you look back into history, on I think this will be the fourth stimulus check that is going to be issued. And most of what was issued before, most of it actually, I think 20% went to cryptocurrencies. And I think we shared that on our daily market thoughts. I think was it on Tuesday or Wednesday, on how that is having a positive impact on cryptocurrencies, because people want to store their value in currency form on stable items. That's why cryptocurrencies are good, because if you compare anybody who got the stimulus check, I think was it 4 months ago? Actually, no, about 6 months ago, of 1,200, and they bought Bitcoin. Today, I think they're up almost more than, I think, 6 times or something from what they had spent. So if you just held on a stimulus check, you actually worth lower, which is actually why Snowden says it's good for Bitcoin. I think he mentioned the same last time. So to another news, one person that I really follow a lot is called Ray Dalio. He's one of the best. He runs a hedge fund in the US. He says Bitcoin is alternative currency. That is what he says last week on CBC. So he told this was on CNBC that the Bitcoin is alternative currency, but such people before they didn't have a positive view on cryptocurrencies or even Bitcoin, but at least right now they are rethinking their comments, and they are also their approach on cryptocurrencies. So using blockchain technology and so on, that's a different thing than having an alternative currency. And Bitcoin is alternative currency versus the digitalizing. So I think as anybody in business, and you are seeing how trends are going, you didn't want to stay back behind. And you can see over there, Bitcoin versus China Digital Yuan. So we are going to see how this is going to play out as we go by. No one knows the outcome, but of course it's going to be positive nonetheless. To my last news of the day is about Google. I think most of us we use Google for various things to search items to we use Gmail, everything. But now Google search giant lifts the 2018 ban on crypto exchanges wallet advertisement. So Google had banned crypto advertisements in 2018 in the wake of ICOs and of course those offers that are coming up on cryptocurrencies and shitcoins. I think they were being advertised more on Google, but then they had to ban such advertisements. So just recently, also on Friday, they lifted the ban, now allowing exchanges and wallet providers to advertise their services, which actually brings a lot of a positive note on cryptocurrencies, and that is quite good. Of course, it will be based on some regulations that they have, but nonetheless, that is good. So I think with that, that does it for me. Let me see if there's a chat before I head back the hosting rights back to Lawrence. But that's good. I think that does it for me. If you have any question, I'll be still on the chats just to answer you. But for now, thank you very much, and look forward to hearing from you and also engaging you further in any of your questions that you may have in regards to cryptocurrency. So thank you, and bye bye.
Great, Louis. Thanks for the news and also the updates and also showing us or sharing with us the difference between money and currency. I think it's something we discussed with you. I think sometimes back in 2018, the difference between money and currency. We were watching a certain clip, and I remember even me, I didn't know there's a difference between money and currency until we started this journey of cryptocurrencies. Now, to your last two news, in fact, I remember when Google banned cryptocurrency, Facebook also did. And I don't know whether Facebook has already lifted the ban on cryptocurrency, but for the Google, that's very big news for people who are in the crypto space. The second other thing is the last news you shared about Ray Dalio, a man we totally respect. He runs the biggest hedge fund in the whole world. And I remember, I think there was some news I read this week where he said Bitcoin is better than bonds. And you can imagine this somebody who has been investing in government bonds for years to a point where his hedge fund is the best in the whole world. But he has changed. I think it's just this year that Ray, he started, I think this year when he started saying, I totally need to understand about Bitcoin. He's a gentleman who runs the biggest cryptocurrency, the biggest hedge fund in the whole world. And he came out loud on his Twitter handle, and he said, I don't understand Bitcoin. Can somebody help me understand it? Can somebody help me understand it? He's somebody who has been dealing with money, currencies, bonds, everything, because he's in the hedge fund industry. And he comes and accept that I don't know. Can somebody really help me understand? And you can see now the transition. Last news, he said what? Bitcoin is better than bonds. Now he's saying Bitcoin is almost good that currency. So seeing these old people who were in we don't want to understand Bitcoin. Bitcoin is for people who just understand technology. Shifting to cryptocurrency, it should also be a wake-up call to some of us who have been seeing cryptos and Bitcoin as just a passing fun. It's not. It's here to stay. When I started by sharing this the big evolution of money. So let me just share my screen. I also have some few news we can share here. Just 1 second. I had picked just a few news also on what is going on in the world. Remember, drop any question you have on the chat room so that Louis can answer it. So the first news I saw interesting this week is the former congressman say on Bitcoin. He says it's a form of money, let it compete with dollars. And this gentleman is called Ron Paul. Ron Paul, former United States Congressman Ron Paul, has said Bitcoin is a form of money, and there should be legislative changes allowing the digital currency to compete with the dollar. Speaking Kitco News, Ron said people should have the freedom to choose their preferred form of money, and he acknowledged the idea that the idea is unlikely to be realized. But his quote is what made me even like his sentiments, because I think when he was the congressman, he was against Bitcoin. I remember. So he says what? It is a currency that you compete with in some ways. It's a little bit that international, but nobody is allowed to compete at a national level. We are not allowed to compete with the currency. That's what he said. And then he added what? They won't even allow you to replace the dollar with a cryptocurrency. There will always be laws against that. But I wanted to legalize it. I think our problem isn't the technicalities of the gold standard or crypto. Our problems are the dependency on the government. Wrong answer. And I think this is a fear a lot of us have. A lot of people will ask you, is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency legal? Does the government, has the government said it's legal? Does the government issue the cryptocurrency? And you can say this is someone who was a congressman saying what? The challenge is not the technicalities. The problem is our dependency on the government. And I think cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies came to give us that freedom of you can choose the currency you want, whether you want the government one, you want the corporate one, or you want decentralized like cryptocurrency. To my second news, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez, this was interesting. I think this was yesterday or the day before yesterday, in June that the day before yesterday. And of course, he revealed that he holds the top two currencies, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. And what caught my attention is that he said he's planning to buy the dip. Now, I know how a lot of people right now, with the correction that happened, a lot of people are getting out of crypto space. They are selling because they think it will continue dipping and dipping and dipping. Look what investors are doing. They know this is the right time to come on board. Again, like I said, this is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not. You're gonna know when you're entering, you're gonna know when you're exiting. And this is the reason that's why we share a lot of these news, and so that you can get to understand what are people doing out there. So of course, you can follow Ron on Twitter, and you can see the interview that was there. To my other news, of course, like I said, we're gonna see a lot of institutions, a lot of corporates coming on board in the crypto space. And I think this is big because a Singapore bank, DBS, issues $11.3 million in blockchain bonds, another use case of blockchain. So the announcement comes just a few months after DBS launched its crypto exchange. This is a bank. And I think we were discussing with Luis the other day, and I was saying, I can't wait the day African banks would stop fighting people who are in the crypto space. Because you don't win by resisting, you win through collaboration. When you collaborate and you understand what is happening in the space, I think these where how waves are created. This is how waves are created. My other news, I think this is one of my biggest. This was one of my biggest news. Uh, Standard, we all know Standard Chartered Bank, unit to launch cryptocurrency trading platform. I think this is something we've been looking forward to, I think, for the last 4 years, when banks will come out clean out there and they say, yes, we are looking forward to having Bitcoin as part of our portfolio. And Standard, of course, we all know Standard Chartered Bank. They are establishing a brokerage exchange platform in Britain and Europe, targeting institutional investors. Targeting institutional investors. Of course, it will start with institutional investors, and then it comes down to personal accounts. Personal accounts. I think the other thing I wanted to share, Louis mentioned about China in his news, yeah, and the competition that is happening and the issue G20. Of course, the fears that are there that China yuan is going to compete with the dollar. Now you can see China is not, the country is not looking like they're going to stop anytime soon. You can see here China handing out 6.2 million of digital yuan in Beijing. They're like giving stimulus check now in digital yuan. Let's talk about stimulus check. And I think this is the second time they are doing this. Because I remember when they were launching, they also gave out some millions of dollars in digital yuan as a test. And now you can see again, they are doing it again and again. So we are yet to see how these will unfold. I think it's going to be totally interesting. And to my almost last news is in India. I think we've been having a lot of news about India banning cryptocurrency and stuff. And of course, there are some functions that Indian central bank had done, and they were saying if you're caught even holding like gold, first they started I think with crypto or gold, you can lose your citizenship. And now there's a circular that was issued by the Indian central bank some times back, and the commercial banks have been using that to frustrate clients. And it's good to see that the central bank has ordered commercial banks not in any way to hamper crypto trading in a new circular because the banks were using the old bank to frustrate people who are in cryptocurrency. So the central bank has come out again and they are like, no, that's old. Now you cannot tamper or you cannot hinder people from using cryptocurrency. I cannot wait this to happen in our country. Such news, other news that make me feel crypto is inevitable. I think that was all I had for today. And I think finish, just to finish, I'll just talk about these two companies because I think most of us have a Visa card or a debit card in our in our in our wallet. So you can imagine Coinbase links its Visa debit card with Apple Pay and Google Pay. So this is crypto adoption, and it's happening faster than you may think. So you as a person, what I'll urge all of us is let's not stop learning. Let's not stop asking questions because the space is growing and it's good if we grow with it. And I think that's all from us today. With that, I just want to wish you a blessed weekend. Remember, I've shared our YouTube channel over there. Click on it, go learn, listen to more of what we've shared before. God bless you all. God bless your families. Louis, any parting shot?
No, no, for me, it's just to wish you a good weekend and also week ahead. But nonetheless, let's keep on learning. Let's keep on. It's good to learn always a new thing, and the best way is self education. So that's what I can say for today. So thank you and bye bye.
And remember also, if you create time to watch the conference, the Bitcoin conference that is happening in Miami, you can search it on YouTube. Louis had also shared on the chat room the link. Just go there, listen to these pioneers of blockchain technology, people who are behind Bitcoin development and stuff. And then we can grow together. So God bless you all. God bless your families. God bless your businesses. May you have a blessed